This film takes place in a coastal city called Invade. On that day, the city is hit by heavy rain accompanied by strong winds. According to the local weather agency, Hurricane Henry is expected to strike Invade within the next 2 hours. We are then introduced to a woman named Dakota. It turns out Dakota has been isolating herself at home ever since she was traumatized by her mother's passing a few months ago. When she steps outside to grab some food, she clearly feels uneasy because of that trauma. A local resident warns her that Hurricane Henry is approaching and urges her to evacuate immediately. Meanwhile, there's a man named Dell, a marine researcher. After stepping off his boat, Dell receives information that Henry has intensified into a Category 5 hurricane. This means the city will soon be hit by violent storm surges and dangerous sea waves. Not long after, Dell contacts his niece, who turns out to be Dakota. Since her mother passed away, Dakota sees Dell as a parental figure. Knowing her trauma, Dell realizes Dakota will likely refuse to evacuate and stay inside her house. So he promises to reach her home within 2 hours to get her out safely. Elsewhere, a woman named Lisa has just finished her shift at a meat processing plant. While driving home, she talks to her mother on the phone. It's revealed that Lisa is pregnant with a baby boy from her fiancé. Sadly, her fiancé has abandoned her during her pregnancy. Her mother urges her to evacuate as soon as possible before the storm arrives. On another side of town, 3 siblings, Ron, Dee, and Will, are enjoying their time in a swamp area. Their foster father, Billy, suddenly arrives and tells them to leave immediately. He warns them that the swamp is full of snakes and dangerous wildlife. Billy even threatens to send them back to an orphanage if they misbehave again. Back at home, Billy talks to his wife, Rachel. It turns out they became foster parents mainly to receive government financial support. Unfortunately, they often treat the children poorly. From this point on, we'll refer to Ron and his siblings as the Olsen kids. As time passes, Hurricane Henry, along with a massive storm surge, finally hits the city. After breaking through the coastal barrier, the floodwaters quickly spread across Invade. In this situation, Lisa and others struggle to survive in their own ways. At the same time, Dakota, who is still inside her house, experiences a power outage caused by the storm. When she realizes that floodwater is entering her home, she quickly moves upstairs to seek safety. Meanwhile, a truck transporting animal blood gets swept by the strong current and crashes into a statue. This causes large amounts of blood to spill into the floodwaters. Not long after, Lisa gets trapped in her car when a tree branch pins her down. The situation becomes even more dangerous as seawater begins flooding her vehicle. Even though she isn't seriously injured, she risks drowning if she can't escape quickly. Soon, 2 men named Scott and Jimmy arrive by boat to help her. However, during the rescue attempt, they are suddenly attacked by bull sharks. The same fate happens to Lisa's coworker. It turns out the sharks are drawn to the blood that spilled into the water earlier. Meanwhile, the strong current shatters the reinforced windows of Billy's house. As Billy and Rachel try to escape, a bull shark suddenly appears. Both of them are eventually overwhelmed in the chaos, while the Olsen kids are still inside the house. On the other hand, Lisa remains trapped inside her car, which unintentionally protects her from the sharks. Coincidentally, her location is right in front of Dakota's house. From the window, Dakota sees Lisa asking for help. At first, Dakota refuses because she notices several sharks swimming nearby. Lisa then pleads, saying she doesn't want to lose her life along with her unborn child. Hearing this, Dakota feels conflicted. She is terrified due to her trauma, but she also doesn't want to ignore someone in danger. In the end, Dakota decides to take the risk and help Lisa. Using objects around her, Dakota carefully makes her way toward Lisa's car without stepping directly into the water. Once she reaches the vehicle, she uses a knife to cut through the roof and remove the branch trapping Lisa. After a difficult struggle, both of them manage to get back into the house safely. While resting, Dakota opens up about losing both of her parents. For now, they decide to stay inside the house since it still feels relatively safe. However, Lisa believes it's only a matter of time before the house is completely flooded. Meanwhile, Del and his team are on their way to Dakota's house, bringing a boat for evacuation. During the trip, Del receives information about a large shark named Nellie, a great white he has been tracking for years. Back at Billy's house, the Olsen kids realize what has happened to Billy and Rachel. Ron tries to secure the doors to keep the sharks out, but one eventually gets inside. They climb onto higher furniture to stay out of reach. Thinking quickly, they use meat as bait to distract the shark. Moments later, Billy surprisingly reappears, badly injured but still alive. Tension rises between him and Ron, especially after the truth about the government money is revealed. The argument escalates, and during the struggle, Billy falls into the floodwater. Shortly after, the danger in the water overwhelms him. Taking advantage of the moment, Ron goes to the basement to find something useful for survival. Although he fails to retrieve a firearm, he manages to find several sticks of dynamite. Meanwhile, Dakota is still figuring out how to safely reach a nearby boat to help Lisa. As the water level rises, Lisa is forced to go into labor inside the house. The situation becomes critical as the structure begins to collapse, and she is briefly submerged. Despite everything, she manages to deliver her baby safely. However, the aftermath attracts unwanted attention in the water. Using a sharp wooden object, Lisa manages to keep threats at a distance. Dakota later arrives with a boat and helps her. Just as they attempt to escape, the boat flips over. At that critical moment, Del and his team finally arrive and drive the threats away using specialized equipment. Shortly after, the larger shark, Nellie, appears and shifts the situation. With the situation stabilizing, Del successfully evacuates Dakota, Lisa, and the baby. Lisa contacts her mother and confirms that both she and her child are safe. She also expresses gratitude toward Dakota for overcoming her fear and helping save a life. Meanwhile, the Olsen kids use the dynamite as a final defense strategy. After a tense moment, they manage to neutralize the remaining threats and escape using Billy's vehicle. Eventually, the storm subsides. However, new reports suggest that Hurricane Henry may return again. And with that, the film comes to an end.